Hi, Sandy.
Hi, it's Dave. There's no Kirk with us today, as he didn't actually come to this gig that we were reviewing. I don't know where he was, but shame on you for not supporting the local scene. But today we are reviewing or looking back at the recent Kaine show this is part of their headlining tour of the UK show, which is at the Melbourne club in Cambridge. On the bill that night was obviously Kaine headlining with support from Planet Fatale, Neverworld, and Teller's Scribe. So I have a unique perspective from it, from obviously being in Scribe and playing on the night it's first on, and obviously Andy was there supporting the scene and obviously capturing some of the footage. So all the footage from tonight, or from in the background of today's show, is from Andy. So thank you for that. Andy, do you want to kick this one off about a little bit on this one?
Yeah, Melbourne Rock Club is literally 5 miles or so, 10-minute drive from my house in Royston in North Hertfordshire.
Did you camp this time?
No.
No camping today.
If it was a weekend, I might have done, but no, just made the journey in the car there and back. But yeah, it's one I've been looking forward to. I mean, it's a great lineup. You know, I'd like to have supported Kaine, whoever they were playing at this club, which is a really good venue. It is a sports and social club attached to a factory, but they do put on metal nights and rock nights. I don't think any other music genre is put on there, but they have other functions as well. But yeah, it's a really decent venue. Big room, proper stage set up at the far end, bar at the other, sound guy sort of in the middle, and he does a really, really good job because he's kind of pretty much on his own, running backwards and forwards. I think his name's Chris Elborn, so shout out to you, Chris. Well done, great night again. Yeah, there's one I was looking forward to. It's the second show on Kaine's 15th anniversary UK tour.
Yeah.
So yeah, one I wasn't going to miss. I will just say, I've put a post about it. I ordered physical tickets because I like keeping shit and memorabilia and that, and I didn't actually arrive until Saturday morning. But I knew it wouldn't be a problem because I know the people there. I know Rage.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't any concern about actually getting into the venue, but just a little bit annoying. But they, if it was a gig probably anywhere else, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But yeah, all good. Really, really good night.
So from our point of view, obviously we were playing first on the bill, so we got there. I think myself and Yusuf from Scribe, we got there at 5, because they'd asked for all the bands to be there by 6, which we were kind of like, well, if the doors open at 7, you've got 4 bands for sound check. You're going to want bands there at 5. So we got there, myself and Yusuf at 5, and we were the first band there at that point. The stage was still being assembled, so the guys were behind, unfortunately, on the day with building the stage and everything they needed. Not long after that, Rage turned up from Kaine with a couple of the guys, so they started turning up, and then we had the rest of the tellers all arrive by 6. So I think we were the first kind of full band that had arrived on site, followed by pretty much Kaine, and then the rest of the guys from like Planet Fatale and Neverworld all kind of started dripping in. So the idea would have been obviously Kaine get their sound check, and then then it would have been the other guys all doing their sound checks. But unfortunately, because of the delay, literally the stage was built, Kaine got their sound check, and then we kind of started getting our stuff on it. And it was like 6:45 when we started getting our setup started. So it got to kind of 7 o'clock, and I'm going up to the sound guy, and we're like, do you want to line check us? Do you want us to play anything? And I think he was just like, I'm okay, but if you want to play something, I'm like, well, you tell us, mate. You're the sound guy. You tell us what we need to do, mate. That's all we need to know.
This is pretty much how MoFest was run at the end of August at the same venue.
So chilled.
Yeah.
And the one thing I'll say to the guy on sound, get yourself a microphone, because we're shouting up the stage to him, and he's got no microphone. So he kept, every time we wanted something, he had to walk up to the stage and go, can we test that out? And then walk all the way back to the sound desk. We're like, just shout, let's get going. So we obviously got a very brief sound check, which was beneficial from our point of view. And we were pretty much we got on time, we had a timer on it, we were ready to go. And from our changeover point of view, we were off. I mean, it was good sound for me on stage. I have no idea for the other guys. I had a good sound overall. Enjoyable playing. We did play the songs fast, so because we knew that with our set and our intros and outros, we were coming in at 31.5 minutes if we played it, and we were like on a 30-minute set, and we were like, well, we've got to play because our outro plays while we're packing away anyway. We actually, when we timed it, we played it at 27.5 minutes. We played the entire set, so I managed to speed up 4 minutes worth of the set on the night. which anyone there that heard Raising the Dead, our last song, will know that was played a lot faster than we've ever played it on the album. And so well played to the rest of the guys in the band for keeping pace with me. But I don't know, from your point of view, what did it sound like out front?
Well, going back to the sort of set time, I know it's probably a shorter set than you performed before. You picked 6 songs off the album, and it flew by. I couldn't believe we were, I had a glance down the set list. I couldn't believe we got to Raise the Dead, and it'd gone so quick. But the sound was really, really good. What else was I going to say? Yeah, when you were sort of setting up and sort of line checking and testing your equipment, I thought you pressed the old buttons for the between song speech that Kim had recorded that you've used on previous shows.
Right.
But you didn't use that, did you?
Only for the intro and the outro.
All right. Well, okay, is that what that was? Because she done some between ad-libs, yeah, some spoken words, and that came down really well. I don't know if she's rehearsed that or if that was kind of off the cuff, but that was really good.
She didn't rehearse that. So when we rehearsed the set, there was none of that. So I was a little shocked when we were playing, because what we'd actually said in the rehearsals, we were really tight. We were like, right, we'll finish the song. We'd rehearsed it. We were like, we'll finish the song. Crowd finishes, counting the next song. As we're starting the next song, she would then literally just say this, and I said, literally just keep it really simple, like, thank you, this next track is about Bella, and that would be all we do, but whilst we were playing. So then when she started going off on it, I'm like, holy crap, we've not planned for any of this. So I'm like thinking about it, going, where's the point where I think she's going to get to the bit where she's finishing her statement so I can count Mike in?
Yeah.
Which we managed to get pretty much spot on. Like, I was looking for on Hallowed when she started talking about it. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like she's coming to the end of a spoken bit. I'll count him in so he can start playing over the outro of her vocals. And we managed to make it look like we'd rehearsed it, but we really hadn't. We were making it up on the spot for those bits.
Yeah, she's done really well there. And another sort of compliment to Kim, and I did tell her on the night. It's Beyond, isn't it? The track that I like with the sort of operatic chorus.
Yes.
The ambitious failure from our co-contributor. I think she absolutely nailed it on the album, and she's nailed it live. And Friday night, best ever. Even more power, more clarity, more control. Yeah, that was excellent, and the whole set was excellent as well. What's the song where Yusuf plays the sort of lead melody from the beginning?
Hallowed, he plays the picked out clean section.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because at 6/6 bar, he kind of, we didn't mess it up in my opinion, but he thought he messed up. Start again.
You fucked that.
I was watching him play that. That's a really, really good piece of guitar work from him. I really enjoy that bit. But yeah, great set.
No, we enjoyed it.
Yeah, great way to kick off the night. Glad it went well for you guys. I mean, I don't know what you can hear on stage, but yes, sound was brilliant.
Yeah, it came out really well. From what we've done a video for it, so we have got the full set. We're going to go up on the YouTube channel, all edited down, etc., with multiple camera angles. And we actually had the rehearsal the Tuesday before, and all of us fucked up the rehearsal.
Okay.
So, and that's the first time we've ever got played the set plan through. Because normally when we do like run throughs of the sets for a gig, we play it and it goes through fine, no issues whatsoever, and we're like, yeah, this is gonna be easy. Last Tuesday we all played it, and we were like, hang on, are you singing that? Hang on, why have you done that bit? And we were like, hang on, does it go for 4 bars or 5 bars there? Because you're playing.
Right. Yeah.
We were every song we all fucked up something, and so we were all like, shit, we need to go home and run the sets ourselves again, because we haven't played it in 6 to 8 weeks. They've been off doing Scarlet Envy stuff, and we were all just not as good as we could be. So I think we all went back and did some homework before that gig, just make sure we tightened everything back up again, got my muscle memory back on drums, because I fucked up multiple things. So I was a lot happy with the gig, and we were happy with the fact that we were on and off. We got our pack away was done in about 4 minutes, and we were off that stage ready for Neverworld to take on the stage.
Cool.
So yeah, on to Neverworld then. So I know operationally this was a big challenge for them, because usually they've got quite a lot of different things they have in their setup for going on. So they've had no sound check. It's a different setup for the drums, because normally they have like a rack mount thing that he has, which is all set up. So he had to change his whole kind of layout on his drums. So I know that they had almost a 30-minute changeover time. So this did knock everything back. So I think we were off early. We were done by 8 o'clock, and they didn't start till 8:30 when they should have been on at 15:15. So there was a massive knock on there, and I know they had a lot of technical issues. We saw that throughout their set, so everything kind of got knocked on. And I don't know if they cut their set short or if they played on, but I know that everything was knocked back by a considerable amount on the night. But overall thoughts on Neverworld from you?
Yeah, they know the setup at Club 85 because I've seen them at their at least Club 85. I do apologise, at Eternity Sports Club, because I've seen them. I think at least twice there. One was at Mo Fest and one was another show. So whether the drummer bought his gear for that and they were hosting the show, I don't know. Yeah, there's a few technical issues, even after the first song, but it didn't impact the show at all, in my opinion. And I thought they were really, really good. I mean, I've seen them several times before, and they're moving, in my opinion, more to that sort of Nightwish style, especially with Frankie, the vocalist. She's come on absolutely leaps and bounds since I first saw her. She's done a fairly decent delivery on her first set, but you could tell the sort of confidence wasn't there. But every time she's grown, and her voice was absolutely brilliant. It was not quite Tarja Nightwish, but perhaps a bit of Floor Jansen put in there as well.
Okay,
that's my opinion anyway. And I really like the 3 vocal delivery from Jack, the guitarist, and the other guy. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, mate, but his voice in particular, he does section on his own, and he's got power and range, and they should utilise his vocals a lot more. But when they all work together on some of the choruses and some of the other parts, all 3, because they've got slightly different deliveries, 2 men and a young lady, it's going to be different, but it works so well together. And I really, really enjoyed their set. I'm not a huge fan, and as much as I've listened to much of their stuff online, and I haven't got any of their albums, but there were some certain tracks I recognised. The Other Side of Midnight, I think we covered on the channel as well.
Yeah.
As a sort of video review, that was towards the end of the set, but yeah, really, really good from Neverworld.
I mean, I can't say too much because I missed quite a bit because we're obviously pulling away and packing up stuff, etc. But I think they recovered from a lot of the technical issues that they had. I mean, the first song, you couldn't hear any of the guitars. It was just bass to me. But I think once the sound guy got set up, but there was that one point where the vocal mic went and they're like, is there a sound guy here? And the thing was, the sound guy's right next to me going through the box. He's like, I'm coming. And of course, because he ain't got a microphone to tell them, they can't see. So that's that bit where the sound guy really needs a way of communicating to the stage or through the monitors that he's going to get up there, because they were constantly like, are we going to have a sound guy come and fix this microphone?
Yeah.
My only steer would have been on that one, as it was the main. I don't think it was Frankie's vocal mic, because she had been singing on a mic.
It was. That's the one that got replaced.
Was it the main vocalist?
Yeah. Sorry.
Was it so? It was her vocal mic.
Yeah.
So I'd heard her on the song before, so she was definitely coming through the mics on the PA system.
The beginning of the following song, she was mouthing nothing. I think the connection got damaged when she was taken in and out of the stand, so she refrained from doing that for the rest of the stand.
I mean, my only steer, there's always that challenge about stage etiquette of what do you do in a situation like that, and that's where the second vocalist microphone gets taken over by the vocalist. That's where you should really, I mean, for me, because there was a long period of time where the band just wasn't doing anything, waiting for this mic to be swapped. Personally, I'd have been like, this mic, we've got a problem with this, can we get this swapped out? Grab the backup vocalist mic, take over on the lead. Okay, his backing vocals ain't going to be there for that song maybe, but you keep the set flowing. Otherwise, it has a massive knock on to the rest of the bands in there. That's my only steer from a band, and that's probably where I would be thinking, if that had happened to me and we had done that, what could we do? Would you have another backup mic or something? Just so you keep that set time. It's different if you're headliners, but when you're sandwiched in, you don't want to drop your set time. You don't want to play less songs, but you don't want to have a knock on to anyone else. But I thought they managed it pretty well. So next up, we have Planet Fatale, which I mentioned to you afterwards. Good to hear some new songs. And you're like, they're not new. I've heard them loads of times.
Yeah.
Which says exactly how many times you've seen these guys.
Yeah.
But great to see new songs I enjoyed. They definitely seem to be going in a slightly different direction to what they historically have been, from what I can tell from the new stuff. They almost want to be an American trucker band, almost, in some ways. Was it?
Is there a thing?
Truck stop motherfucker was one of the songs.
Yeah.
So, what are your overall? You're never going to say anything negative. So let's go. We know it's going to be a positive review here. So, and that's rightfully so. Actually, there's nothing negative to say about this performance. But what was your thoughts on this show?
Yeah, the new songs you refer to are, well, they're not new to me because I've probably heard that they've gradually been introduced to the set. But this is kind of the familiar sort of Planet Fatale set that I've seen at Heavy Fest and Ballstock in the last few weeks and months. So the new songs you refer to are from the upcoming album. I don't know the status of that. I think it's recorded and ready to be sort of mixed and released, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, the new songs, as it were, do sort of comprise of most of the set. There's only one from the Cycle Repeats album played on this occasion. That's Fight Club, which I think is always going to be a live feature. You know, that's one of the harder, faster, heavier tracks. But as you said, that's the sort of direction that they're moving into with likes of Truck Stop and King of Silence, which seems to be the set closer now. And I mentioned how impressed I were with Kim's vocals in the Telescribe song. Beyond. Helen Johnson does this incredible scream towards the end of King of Silence. You know, on her own, the band stop, and this was delivered with such power and clarity, and again control. And she said to me afterwards, "Thank you very much, but in rehearsals I do it longer." You know, and they're sitting there waiting for me, and so she reined that in a little bit into what she can do. But it's just an incredible vocal delivery, that particular part of the song, as is everything else she does. Sound was great again. Instrumentation, you know, James Miller's bass is clear and you're not hidden by the guitars and the drums. So what they do themselves for sound is fantastic. Obviously with the help of the you know the guy on the desk and everything. But yeah, another fantastic set.
Yeah, it was really good.
Again, went in the blink of an eye. I'm sure it was just the half hour, but yeah. Fantastic.
If anything, so when I'm now listening to the newer stuff, it feels stronger. It feels more cohesive to me than. So when you talk about a song like Fight Club for me is a weaker track in their live performance now. I mean, it's a staple because it's been there for such a long time. But when you listen to it, I'm like, it's probably the one that I'm least interested in. I really like what they were doing with the newer stuff now. So yeah, it's always a good sign when your newer stuff is actually overshadowing some of the older material. But
absolutely, yeah,
it gives you that chance to suddenly, after a few years, bring back some old stuff just to kind of reinvigorate if you need to. So then we get on to the headliners, the wonderful guys from Kaine. So I have to be honest, I was only there for a few songs at the beginning. So I got to the point where I was like, it's been 6-7 hours and I'm really hungry at this point. We're exhausted, tired. So we caught like the first sort of 25 minutes or so of their set or so. And they came out the gates flying. That's all I can say is, I mean, what was its second song in was Slave to the Grind.
Yeah.
Sounded frigging amazing. I mean, it sounds like they're doing it off the album. These guys are very, very polished. They know exactly how to perform, and especially with everything that's going on with Rage at the moment, he's got lots on. Liam's still got his injury that he's recovering from. You can see that when he's doing his setup, he's got to be a bit more technical, a bit more careful, so he can't like launch out with his arm as much as he probably used to. So when he's putting things on, he's got to be a little bit more careful with his motor dexterity. But they were on it, which was great to see. But yeah, give us your thoughts on Kaine.
Well, just going back to the point you made, you know, you were hungry and been there 6 or 7 hours. Unfortunately, with Eternity Sports Social Club, you can't just nip out to the kebab van around the corner because it is a bit remote. It's between sort of two villages in South Cambridgeshire. So if you do want anything other than, you know, what they sell behind the bar, you do need to venture a bit further, which is a shame. But
you can't just pop out. You can't just pop round the corner to the local. You've got to drive at least. That's sort of like, I think we literally went to your local McDonald's around the corner from your house is where we ended up going.
Yeah. But back to Kaine. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned, well, we did mention earlier, it's their 15th anniversary tour, second of probably 15 dates or so, I don't know, but I think what I like about this band is the work ethic, the amount of effort they put into everything they do, from promotions, flyers, you know, these printed tickets that I was talking about earlier, t-shirts, the Patreon scheme that we're both part of, but more importantly, they of great songs and the fantastic musicians as well. I think from my recollection of the set, as you said, Slave to the Grind's off the most recent album, which I was surprised was sort of unleashed so early, but it's an absolute banger, sort of one of their faster, thrashier songs. But I think they certainly went back through the catalogue because it was a 15th anniversary tour. They kind of, visited some older songs, but absolutely brilliant. You might not have seen this, but were you there for the impromptu rendition of Hammer Smash Face by Cannibal Corpse?
No.
I think wherever he's a member of the sort of entourage and a friend of the band, I don't know, but somebody shouted out Hammer Smash Face, and instantly Liam's got the cymbal going, and Toby's playing a lot like, and then just on that sort of first intro. I mean, wish I'd have captured it anyway, put it that way, but unfortunately I didn't. But yeah, I was really looking forward to it, and I wish them all the best for the rest of the tour, because they absolutely deserve it, the amount of work that Rage in particular puts into this band. I did see some shots from Saturday night show, which is last night for us at Ipswich. And a few sort of comments about it not being particularly well attended, which is a real shame. I mean, they sold a decent number of tickets beforehand, but it did look a little bit quiet. And as somebody rightly said, it's absolutely rammed. We haven't mentioned that the attendance at Friday night show was fantastic. I've been there many times, and I wasn't sure how many people would come. I mean, it's a Friday night, but it was really, really well attended. There's the usual Melbourne Rock Club crew, a lot of people I knew and recognised, a lot of people who would come out to see these bands ordinarily as well, and loads of other people I didn't know. So
and that's one thing I would actually say here, was there were people there supporting all the bands, not just the Kaine supporters. So there were people that supported Kaine, but there was also, I saw lots of Planet Fatale t-shirts, saw a lot of people supporting who'd seen Neverworld before. We saw a few people that got some Scribe t-shirts on, so we were actually like going, great, there's actually people here to support all the bands on the bill. Whereas I'm wondering, with the fact that we had Cardinal X, Heathen Kings, and was it Lost Citadel, when they saw the shots for those ones, they looked really sparse, really big empty spaces at the front. But by the time Kaine came on, there were people moved to the front. So I don't know how much there was support for the other bands on the bills that had come out for it, whereas some people were coming in later. Whereas I think we had, by the time we were getting close to finishing, the place was getting pretty much as full as it was going to get at there. I mean, it didn't start off full when we were playing, but there was definitely people arriving during our set, which was great. So it was good to see that at the Melbourne.
I mean, it was a local, legal gentleman here. It was a local venue for local bands, wasn't it, this one?
Yes.
So I'm guessing that Rage contacted, because he's played Planet Fatale several times. He knows you. I guess he knows the guys from Neverworld as well. So he kind of invited you to join the bill.
We kind of forced ourselves on.
Oh, okay. Well,
we didn't force him. We literally, when we found out they were doing the tour, we didn't know who he had on the bill. So I approached Rage and said, have you sorted out your support? And he was like, well, we've got Neverworld and Planet Fatale booked. And I was like, could you fit us on? And he went, all right, fine.
Brilliant.
And put us on. He said, but you'll have to do the opening. And we're like, that's fine with us. Yeah. So we were quite happy to do that. But we approached him about joining that bill lineup, because he was originally only doing 3 bands, I think was the plan. All
right. Well, it's the local bands to Hertfordshire and Cambridgeshire, and they've got a following, so that's why it was so well attended, as perhaps maybe not the Ipswich show that we saw. But yeah, it was an evening that has been in the calendar for a long time, and it seems a long time coming along. But I was really, really looking forward to it, and I wasn't disappointed. I had a fantastic night.
Now we have to ask the question, because I saw this in. What was this bag of poo that was given on Rage on stage? What is that all about?
Yeah. It might have been the guy who shouted out Hammer Smash Face as well, but sort of early on the set, Rage was sort of saying about something like he's never been so cold playing on stage because the side door was open. It was a chilly evening, but he soon warmed up, and he said, "I'm sure I will." And he was saying something about shitting himself. I can't remember exact context of the statement he was making, but he's great between songs. He really interacts with the crowd, and for some reason, this man had a doggy poo bag.
Oh, it was a dog. At least it wasn't. It was dog poo, not just like I've just shat in a carrier bag for you.
Yeah. And so he sort of handed it in Rage's direction, and carried on the discussion. And he said, "There's a first. I've never been handed a bag of shit when I've been on stage or something."
there's always something interesting at one of these shows.
Yeah.
So, well, there you go. That's our feedback on the Kaine 15th anniversary tour and the show at the Melbourne Club. Now, if you enjoyed our video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Let us know what you thought of the bands on the night, and we'll see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.